No, I think you make
Oh, I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. I just wanted to take a minute to say that, you know, as far as I knew, I was being in compliant with my program, Right On programs. You know, when I would ask to leave town, they would give me permission to leave town. So that's all that I knew that was coming to me. I wasn't expecting any special treatment, aside from the understanding that I have to provide for myself. I have to work, and my schedule, you know, unfortunately, is very different. And they were willing to work with me on that. That was the only kind of special treatment that, you know, if anything, they would give me, is trying to kind of balance their schedules with mine, which I really appreciated. Having said that, I did do everything that I was told to do and did the best I could to, you know, balance jobs and showing up. I'm sorry. Give me 2 seconds.
Absolutely.
No. In terms of going more than once in a week, some people, I know that I was ordered to go once a week, and it wasn't, you know, I wasn't missing the classes just to hang out or do anything like that. I was working mostly in Morocco, the trip. I was working with children. It wasn't a vacation. It wasn't some sort of a joke. And I respect her where I've been taking it seriously. And I appreciate that Right On Programs has done so much to help me finish early, because I wanted to make sure that I would come back here making you happy and the court system, and show that I meant everything I put into it. And going more than once in a week, I would try to do that only because I knew I had to work the next week. I figured, and as far as I knew, they were okay with this, and it was still in compliance, that if I did 3 in a week or 2 in a week, then it would make up for the fact that if I had to work the next week, then that's why I wouldn't be there, because I've already done them now. So I thought, as far as I knew, that was in compliance. Had I not known, had I been, you know, taken aside and told that in detail, then that would have been a different story. I'm not taking this as a joke. It's my life, and it's my career, and something I've worked for my entire life. And you know, I've learned from my experiences. I take responsibility for my actions, and I've tried to do the best I can in the past few weeks since I was here last, which is the only time I've been, you know, present in front of a judge in any of my situations in terms of this specific case. It's the only time I've actually, you know, and honestly, it did wake me up. Yes, of course it scared me, and it also confused me because I was there thinking that it was okay that I missed those classes. I thought, and I didn't, had I known differently, again, like I said, I would have taken it, you know, I would have made sure that I was in town each week, and I would have balanced my work around that, because I'd rather, you know, be working in the long run, after all, than dealing with this kind of thing for the rest of my life. I guess that's, I mean, really all I had to say. It's just been such a long haul, and I don't want you to think that I don't respect you and your terms, because I really did think that I was doing what I was supposed to do, and I mean that with all my heart.
All right, thank you very much. Ms. Holland? I don't know if we got to the part of, do you waive formal arraignment for judge? I think we did, yeah. Do you wish to be heard? All right, go ahead. Do you need a break, or are you okay? Okay.
I'm fine.
Thank you so much.
On the one hand, I don't think that Ms. Lohan has been treated specially. As Your Honor knows, when I did my first felony trial in front of you as a public defender, I was a public defender. I don't know anybody who has done an SB 38 program without any glitch. And I think that this court should take into consideration all that she has done. I know that we're focusing on what she didn't do, and that's the nature of a probation violation hearing. I get that. But all of the things that I recited for this court previously, all of the conditions of her probation, and they were numerous, have been complied with. And I'm just thinking about the fact that, I don't know if it was Your Honor or Ms. Myers who suggested that the only reason that she got it together is because probation was revoked. I mean, I remember once my mom was driving and she was approaching a stop sign and she saw a police officer there, so she came to a complete stop. And the police officer pulled her over and said, "You only stopped because you saw me." And she was like, "Okay, it doesn't really matter why I stopped. I stopped." The reality is, it doesn't matter what the reason is, why she has begun to behave better. The fact of the matter is, she has. And she is now in compliance generally with the overall conditions of her probation. And she is going to be finished with her program by the end of this week. And I just feel like we've spent an unbelievable amount of time and energy and money and resources and sheriffs and television cameras around the fact that this young woman missed 7 weeks over a 27-week period. She does work. She does have a career. As Your Honor knows, she has had a career for a long time. She supports herself. She supports a lot of people. And the court made it very clear that the program was to come first. We get that, and I'm not arguing against that. Obviously, you made that clear, and she understands that. But the reality of life is you have to be able to work and support yourself. And her work is not like everybody else's work, where it's that easy to simply reschedule what the work thing is. And I think that she is being authentic with this court and with all of us when she tells us that she did the best she could under those extremely difficult circumstances. She can't drive. She hasn't driven. She's obeyed that directive. She hasn't picked up any new cases. She's trying to make a living for herself while complying with a very strict program. And the fact of the matter is, she's going to be finished with it. And when she is, she will have done every single solitary thing that was asked of her as a condition of her probation. Every single one of them. While trying to keep a career and a life afloat. And so I, again, ask you to look at it as a whole. I appreciate what Ms. Meyer said about, what she would want to say in response to that. But I do think that at the end of the day, at the end of this argument, she has done far more than she has not done. Far more. Did it take a long time? Did it take some going back and forth? Did it take her having to come to terms with the seriousness of the situation? Perhaps it did, but it did. And she's done it all. And again, though Your Honor made it clear that it was once a week, I still focus, and I looked at it again, on the reasons why. And the primary reason why is that you wanted her to finish this program by July 15th. And she will have finished this program by July 15th. I am asking this court, the court has previously extended her probation on one of the counts for a year to August of 2011. I would ask for you to continue her on the same terms and conditions of probation. We already have a court date set for July 15th. It's on the court calendar. We'll come back in here on that day. We'll have proof of completion of the program. If you want her to continue to do drug and alcohol testing at the probation department, she is willing to do that. But anything greater than that, in my views, loses sight of the reason behind the court's directive. And you woke her up, you got her attention. She's juggling a lot of things, but she managed to figure it out and in the end get it right.
All right, thank you. Ms. Myers?
I won't respond, Your Honor, because to the latter comment about the totality, because the court asked me to sit down, and
well,
so I
allowed
won't.
to stand. I just, it
Yeah, so I
wasn't the
won't address
totality.
it because I wouldn't want you to do that a second time. But I will indicate to the court the following: it's the people's position that the defendant, you have not caught her attention. When the defendant was ordered to be here in December, she was in France and didn't come back to this court. When the defendant was told to go every week,
December.
that was when she was in France, and it was I forget the date,
May.
whatever date. Thank you. She didn't come back. That would have been the first thing I would have